In any relationship, one of the most important things to feel is excitement. Excitement about the future, about shared experiences, and most importantly, about each other. However, when you find that your partner never seems excited or invested in your relationship, it's like a cold, unshakable feeling that creeps in and settles between you both. Relationships are built on energy, effort, and passion, and without these elements, they can quickly turn stagnant and lifeless. If your partner doesn't show enthusiasm, it can create an emotional void that may leave you questioning their commitment, their feelings, and whether the relationship is even worth continuing. Think about the last time you shared an exciting moment with your partner. Maybe you talked about future plans, laughed over something silly, or even just spent quality time together. How did they react? Were they engaged and present, or did they seem distant, uninterested, or even indifferent? The truth is, when one partner is consistently disengaged, it's a sign that something deeper may be going on. Relationships should not feel like one-sided efforts. Both partners should actively participate in building the relationship, showing interest in one another's lives, and celebrating moments together. If you're always the one initiating conversations, making plans, or putting effort into maintaining the connection, it can quickly lead to feelings of frustration, loneliness, and emotional exhaustion. Lack of enthusiasm doesn't just feel like a minor annoyance. It can have a significant impact on the way you view the relationship as a whole. If your partner isn't invested, it may begin to erode your self-esteem. You might start to feel like you're not enough, like you're giving more than you're receiving, or even worse, like you're invisible in the relationship. The absence of excitement can lead you to question whether your partner truly values you or whether they're simply going through the motions. But the lack of enthusiasm isn't always a clear-cut issue. Sometimes, it's not that your partner doesn't care, but that they don't know how to express their feelings or show excitement. They may be dealing with their own internal struggles, or maybe they're unaware that their indifference is hurting you. Regardless of the reason, the effect remains the same. It leaves you feeling uncertain, unsupported, and perhaps even unimportant. When both partners are equally excited about their relationship, it fosters growth, intimacy, and mutual respect. But when one person isn't invested, it creates an imbalance that can slowly unravel everything. The emotional distance begins to widen, and over time, the relationship may begin to feel more like a routine rather than a fulfilling connection. It's essential to recognize the signs of this emotional disconnection early on. If your partner never seems excited or invested, it's not something to brush aside or ignore. It's a call for both of you to take a step back and evaluate the health of the relationship. Are you both truly in it together, or has the excitement faded? Is it time to rekindle the spark, or is it time to face the reality that the relationship may no longer be serving either of you? This realization, no matter how painful, can be a crucial turning point, where you decide whether to put in the effort to restore the connection or move on to something that allows both partners to thrive. 1. They rarely make time for you. When someone rarely makes time for you, it signals that their priorities might not align with yours. Relationships thrive on shared moments and mutual effort, but if your partner is consistently unavailable, it can leave you feeling neglected and unimportant. Love isn't just about the big gestures, but also about the everyday commitment to spending quality time together. In any relationship, time is one of the most valuable things we can offer. It shows that we care enough to make space in our busy lives for someone else. If your partner continually cancels plans, avoids making time for intimate moments, or is always too busy, it can create a sense of emotional distance. This behavior might reflect a lack of genuine investment in the relationship. When someone loves you, they will find ways to prioritize you despite their busy schedule. It's not about being together 24/7, but about ensuring that you are a priority. If your partner isn't making an effort to schedule time for you, it could be a sign that they're not as committed as they should be. Over time, this can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration, as you feel like you're the only one trying to nurture the connection. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel equally important and valued. If one person is always making excuses or failing to show up when needed, it could indicate that their feelings aren't as strong as they claim. You may end up questioning whether they truly care, or if they're simply passing time in the relationship, waiting for something more convenient or suitable to come along. 2. They avoid serious conversations about the future. When someone avoids serious conversations about the future, it suggests they might not be fully invested in the relationship. A healthy relationship requires open communication about long-term goals, desires, and aspirations. If your partner shies away from discussing important topics like commitment, plans, or even where they see the relationship heading, it can create uncertainty and doubt. The future is a natural topic for couples to explore, as it reflects mutual intentions and shared dreams. When one partner consistently deflects or becomes uncomfortable when the subject arises, it could be a sign that they're not ready to commit or don't see a future with you. This behavior can leave you feeling insecure, as it suggests that your partner may not be emotionally ready to take things to the next level. Avoiding future conversations could also indicate that your partner isn't prioritizing the relationship. Relationships require effort and planning, especially when it comes to navigating the future together. If your partner shows no interest in discussing these matters, it might mean they aren't looking at the relationship with long-term intentions, or they may not view you as part of their future. Moreover, avoiding these conversations can lead to emotional strain as one partner is left uncertain about where they stand. It's important to have open discussions about the future, whether it's about moving in together, marriage, or shared goals. If these discussions are continually shut down, it's a clear indication that your partner may not be fully engaged in building a life with you. 3. They don't prioritize your needs. When your partner doesn't prioritize your needs, it indicates that they might not be as emotionally invested in the relationship as you are. Relationships are built on mutual respect and care, and part of that is acknowledging and addressing each other's needs. If your partner is consistently focused on their own desires or ignores your emotional, physical, or even practical needs, it can make you feel unimportant and neglected. Everyone has specific needs in a relationship, whether it's emotional support, affection, time, or reassurance. If your partner continuously disregards these, it can create a sense of imbalance. You may feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, which can lead to feelings of frustration, resentment, and loneliness. It's important to remember that love isn't just about receiving. It's also about understanding and fulfilling the needs of the other person. When your needs are consistently ignored, it can lead to a lack of emotional fulfillment. For example, if you need affection and your partner is distant, or if you need reassurance and your partner dismisses your concerns, it can leave you questioning their feelings for you. It might also make you feel that your partner is not invested in your happiness, which can gradually erode the connection between you both. In a healthy relationship, both partners work together to meet each other's needs. Prioritizing each other's well-being is a key part of building trust and intimacy. If your partner isn't making an effort to meet your needs, it could suggest they aren't fully committed or engaged in making the relationship work. Over time, this lack of prioritization can lead to growing emotional distance and dissatisfaction, leaving you feeling more like an option than a priority. 4. They're never emotionally available. When your partner is never emotionally available, it creates a barrier that prevents true intimacy and connection from developing. Emotional availability is essential for building a strong, healthy relationship, as it allows both partners to be open, vulnerable, and supportive of each other. If your partner is constantly closed off, it can make you feel isolated and unsupported, even if you're physically present in the relationship. An emotionally unavailable partner may withdraw when things get tough, avoid discussing their feelings, or fail to provide emotional support during difficult times. This can make you feel like you're carrying the emotional load of the relationship alone, which can be exhausting and disheartening. Emotional availability is not just about talking about emotions. It's about being present, engaged, and responsive to your partner's needs. If your partner is never emotionally available, it might indicate a lack of interest in deepening the relationship. True connection comes from understanding and sharing emotions, but if one person is consistently distant or disengaged, it can create a sense of emotional emptiness. This behavior might also signal that your partner is struggling with their own emotional issues or isn't ready for the vulnerability required in a committed relationship. In a relationship, both partners should feel like they can lean on each other for support and understanding. If your partner is emotionally unavailable, you may start to feel rejected or unimportant. It can be hard to maintain a sense of security and trust when your partner isn't open or responsive to your emotional needs. Over time, this emotional distance can lead to feelings of frustration, hurt, and even resentment, as the imbalance in emotional connection becomes harder to ignore. 5. They don't make any effort to resolve conflicts. When your partner doesn't make any effort to resolve conflicts, it shows a lack of commitment to the relationship and an unwillingness to work through difficulties. Every relationship faces challenges, but what sets healthy relationships apart is the ability to address and resolve issues together. If your partner avoids conflict resolution, it often means that they're either avoiding confrontation or they don't care enough to make things right. A refusal to resolve conflicts can take many forms, whether it's avoiding tough conversations, shutting down during arguments, or even sweeping problems under the rug. This behavior can create a sense of frustration and helplessness, as you're left trying to figure things out on your own. Over time, unresolved issues can accumulate, leading to growing resentment and a breakdown in communication. When conflicts go unresolved, it also prevents growth within the relationship. Healthy relationships thrive on compromise and the ability to learn from disagreements. If one partner consistently avoids addressing issues, it can prevent both people from understanding each other's perspectives and reaching solutions that benefit the relationship as a whole. This lack of effort can also create an unhealthy dynamic where one person is always the peacemaker while the other avoids accountability. Without conflict resolution, the relationship remains stagnant and vulnerable to recurring problems. It can lead to emotional distance, as unresolved issues create a wall between both partners. A relationship that doesn't address conflicts is likely to become increasingly tense, and over time, it may erode the trust and bond that initially brought you together. If your partner is unwilling to engage in resolving conflicts, it may indicate a lack of emotional investment or a belief that the relationship isn't worth the effort. 6. They're inconsistent with their affection. When your partner is inconsistent with their affection, it creates confusion and emotional instability within the relationship. Affection is one of the key ways people feel loved and valued, and when it's unpredictable, it can make you feel unsure about where you stand. One moment, your partner might be affectionate, showering you with love and attention, and the next, they may seem distant, cold, or detached. This inconsistency can leave you feeling emotionally insecure and questioning the stability of the relationship. Affection is vital for nurturing connection and intimacy. If it's not consistent, it's hard to build a strong emotional bond. You might begin to wonder if the affection you're receiving is genuine, or if it's just a temporary gesture. This on-again, off-again behavior can lead to feelings of uncertainty, as you're never sure if your partner truly cares or if they're only showing affection when it's convenient for them. Emotional instability can also result from inconsistent affection. If you're left constantly trying to figure out what mood your partner is in, or whether they'll be warm and loving or distant and cold, it can lead to stress and anxiety. It's difficult to feel secure in a relationship where affection feels like a roller coaster ride. Over time, this emotional unpredictability can create resentment, as you may feel like you're constantly giving love and attention, only to receive it sporadically. A healthy relationship relies on a certain level of emotional consistency. If your partner is inconsistent with their affection, it may be a sign that they are not fully invested or are unsure of their feelings. Without consistency, the foundation of trust and emotional connection weakens, and it becomes harder to sustain a deep, loving relationship. 7. They never support your personal growth. When your partner never supports your personal growth, it reflects a lack of interest in your well-being and development as an individual. Healthy relationships encourage both partners to grow, learn, and pursue their own goals, whether personal, professional, or emotional. If your partner isn't supportive of your personal growth, it can leave you feeling stuck and unfulfilled in the relationship. Support for personal growth can take many forms. It might mean encouraging you to pursue new opportunities, offering emotional support during difficult times, or even helping you develop new skills. If your partner dismisses your goals, belittles your achievements, or discourages you from taking steps toward self-improvement, it signals a lack of care or respect for your individual aspirations. When you're in a relationship where your growth is not supported, it can create an imbalance in the connection. You may begin to feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, or that your ambitions are being stifled. Over time, this lack of support can lead to feelings of frustration, resentment, and even self-doubt, as you may begin to question your worth and abilities. In a healthy partnership, both individuals should be encouraged to pursue their dreams and become the best version of themselves. If your partner never supports your personal growth, it could be an indication that they are more focused on themselves or that they may feel threatened by your success. This lack of support can create an unhealthy dynamic, where one person's progress is undermined and the relationship becomes more about dependence rather than mutual growth. Without encouragement, the connection may stagnate, leaving you feeling unimportant and unmotivated. 8. They're not interested in meeting your friends and family. When your partner isn't interested in meeting your friends and family, it can signal a lack of investment in the relationship and your life outside of the two of you. Meeting each other's friends and family is a natural step in deepening the connection, as it allows both partners to integrate more fully into each other's worlds. It's an indication of trust, commitment, and the desire to build a life together. If your partner consistently avoids this, it can leave you feeling isolated or like they aren't fully committed to you or the relationship. Refusing or avoiding these interactions may show a lack of interest in knowing more about the people who are important to you. It can also suggest that your partner is not serious about building a future with you, especially if they're unwilling to engage with the people who matter most in your life. You might start feeling that your partner is trying to keep you separate from their life, creating emotional distance and a sense of disconnection. This behavior can also indicate discomfort or insecurity on your partner's part. They might feel threatened by the close relationships you have with others, or they might be hesitant to open up to new people. However, in a healthy relationship, both partners should be comfortable with and supportive of each other's connections with family and friends. A partner who is unwilling to meet your loved ones may not be emotionally available or invested in nurturing the relationship beyond a superficial level. Without mutual understanding and acceptance of each other's social circles, it becomes difficult to grow closer. If your partner isn't willing to engage with your family and friends, it may suggest a lack of commitment, and this could create frustration, loneliness, or doubt about the future of the relationship. Over time, it can lead to emotional detachment and a deeper feeling of imbalance between both partners. 9. They only reach out when they need something. When your partner only reaches out when they need something, it can be a clear indication of a one-sided relationship where the emotional investment is lacking. Relationships thrive on reciprocity and mutual care, but if your partner only contacts you when it's convenient for them, or when they have a favor to ask, it can make you feel used or unappreciated. This behavior often shows that they see the relationship as something that benefits them rather than as a partnership where both people contribute and support each other equally. This kind of dynamic can be draining, as it leaves you feeling like you're constantly giving without receiving anything in return. It might be small things at first, a quick text when they need help with something, but over time, it can become more evident that their outreach is solely motivated by personal gain. When this happens, it can be difficult to feel valued in the relationship because your partner isn't taking the time to check in with you unless they need something. In a healthy relationship, both partners are there for each other, not just in moments of need, but also in times of celebration, joy, or simply to offer support without any agenda. If your partner only contacts you when they need something, it's a red flag that they may not truly care about your emotional needs or the overall well-being of the relationship. You may feel neglected, like an option they turn to when it's convenient, rather than a priority. This pattern of behavior can also lead to feelings of resentment. Over time, you may begin to feel like you're being taken for granted, and the emotional connection between you both can weaken. If the relationship continues to be one-sided, it may eventually lead to emotional burnout or a sense of detachment, as you start questioning whether the relationship is truly balanced, or if you are merely serving as a resource for your partner. 10. They don't make you feel valued or appreciated. When your partner doesn't make you feel valued or appreciated, it creates a deep sense of emotional neglect. Feeling unimportant or taken for granted in a relationship can have a significant impact on your self-esteem and overall happiness. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and appreciation, where both partners actively show gratitude for each other's presence, efforts, and contributions. Without these expressions of appreciation, the connection begins to feel hollow, and the emotional bond weakens. If your partner doesn't make an effort to acknowledge your efforts, accomplishments, or even the little things you do to support them, it can leave you questioning your worth within the relationship. Compliments, words of encouragement, and simple gestures of appreciation go a long way in making someone feel loved and recognized. Without these, it becomes difficult to maintain a sense of fulfillment and security. When you don't feel valued, you might begin to emotionally distance yourself, as it's hard to invest in a relationship that doesn't acknowledge your importance. You may feel like you're constantly giving without receiving the validation you deserve, and this imbalance can breed feelings of frustration, sadness, and even resentment. Over time, it may lead to questioning whether the relationship is truly worth staying in if your presence and contributions aren't being acknowledged. Being in a relationship where you're not appreciated can also create feelings of loneliness. Even though you may be physically present with your partner, emotionally, you may feel disconnected or invisible. Feeling unvalued can take a toll on your mental health, leading to self-doubt or the belief that you aren't deserving of love or respect. In the long run, this lack of appreciation can erode the foundation of the relationship and cause both partners to feel dissatisfied and unfulfilled. 11. They constantly cancel plans or don't show up. When your partner constantly cancels plans or doesn't show up, it can signal a lack of respect and consideration for you and the relationship. Consistency and reliability are fundamental aspects of a strong partnership. If your partner frequently backs out of plans or fails to follow through on commitments, it sends a message that they don't prioritize you or the time you've set aside for each other. This behavior not only disrupts your personal plans, but also creates feelings of disappointment and frustration. A relationship should be a source of stability and trust, but when your partner consistently cancels or no-shows, it undermines that foundation. You might find yourself waiting for them, making excuses, or rearranging your schedule to accommodate them, only to be let down time and time again. This can lead to feelings of neglect, as it seems like your partner is putting everything else ahead of spending quality time with you. It's also a reflection of their level of emotional investment in the relationship. If your partner doesn't value the time you've planned together, it may indicate that they're not as committed or invested in the relationship as you are. Over time, this behavior can create a sense of insecurity, as you might start to wonder if you're not important enough to be a priority in their life. Additionally, constantly being let down can cause emotional exhaustion. It can leave you questioning their intentions and the future of the relationship. If this pattern continues, it might make you reconsider whether the relationship is fulfilling or if you're constantly settling for disappointment. Trust and reliability are essential in any partnership, and when they're absent, it can erode the emotional connection you once shared. 12. They don't communicate openly about their feelings. When your partner doesn't communicate openly about their feelings, it creates a wall between both of you that can be difficult to break down. Communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, and when emotional openness is lacking, it leads to misunderstandings, frustration, and emotional distance. Without sharing their feelings, your partner may leave you guessing about their thoughts, needs, and concerns, which can lead to confusion and a sense of emotional disconnection. In a relationship, it's essential for both partners to feel comfortable expressing themselves honestly and vulnerably. Whether it's about something small or a deeper emotional issue, open communication fosters trust and intimacy. If your partner holds back, avoids difficult conversations, or shuts down when emotions are brought up, it leaves you in the dark about where you stand or how they truly feel. This lack of transparency can make you feel unheard or unimportant, as it feels like they're not willing to invest in the relationship on an emotional level. When your partner doesn't express their feelings, it can also make you feel anxious, unsure of where the relationship is headed. You might wonder if they're hiding something, or if there's a deeper issue they're not addressing. This uncertainty can lead to feelings of insecurity, as you're left with little information about their emotional state, leaving you to question whether they're truly committed or invested in the relationship. Additionally, the inability to communicate openly can cause frustration for both partners. You may begin to bottle up your own feelings as well, out of fear of triggering an uncomfortable or unproductive conversation. Over time, this emotional suppression can create a significant emotional distance, making it harder to reconnect or resolve conflicts. For a relationship to thrive, emotional openness and communication must be present. Without them, the relationship may start to feel stagnant, leaving both partners stuck in an unhealthy cycle of miscommunication and emotional avoidance. 13. They never seem excited or invested in your relationship. When your partner never seems excited or invested in the relationship, it creates a sense of emotional disconnection and neglect. Relationships thrive on mutual enthusiasm, effort, and a shared sense of joy in being together. If your partner consistently shows no excitement about your time together, or fails to demonstrate interest in nurturing the bond, it can leave you feeling unimportant and unappreciated. A lack of excitement in the relationship often indicates a lack of emotional investment. When someone truly cares about you and the future of the relationship, they show it through their actions, whether it's planning thoughtful dates, expressing affection, or engaging in meaningful conversations. If your partner isn't showing this level of enthusiasm, it may signal that they aren't fully committed or emotionally present. Over time, this can lead to feelings of loneliness, as you might feel like you're the only one putting effort into keeping the relationship alive. This lack of investment can also result in an absence of growth within the relationship. Relationships require both partners to contribute to their development, whether it's through shared experiences, open communication, or support during difficult times. If one partner is disengaged and unenthusiastic, it becomes hard for the relationship to grow or move forward. Instead of feeling like you're building a future together, you might begin to feel like you're stuck in a rut, unable to progress. In a relationship, it's essential to feel like you're both equally excited about being with each other and about the journey you're taking together. Without that mutual excitement, it's easy to start questioning the long-term viability of the relationship. The absence of enthusiasm from your partner can erode the emotional connection, leaving you feeling unsupported and unsure about the future.